What sense does it make for sharpness to be adjustable on a monitor? Modern monitors often have a sharpness setting, but I don't really understand how it makes sense for such a setting to exist. The software asks the monitor to display a particular pattern of 32-bit RGB values, right? The OS might ask the monitor every frame to display a particular 1920 by 1080 by 32-bit map. But adjusting sharpness means letting nearby pixel values affect each other, which would seem to imply that the input is no longer being faithfully represented, meaning it would no longer be displaying what it is asked to display, which doesn't make sense. So I just don't see where this leaves any logical room for sharpness adjustment. Where exactly does the degree of freedom for adjusting sharpness come from?
Original question: where exactly does the degree of freedom for adjusting sharpness come from? Sharpness is directly related to the type of signal and content you are viewing. Movies typically look better when sharpness is turned down and the pixels are allowed to blur together a bit. On the other hand, a computer display would want high sharpness for clear text and sharp images. Video games are another example where higher sharpness is better. Low-quality TV signals also can be enhanced with sharpness controls. Being monitors can be used for displaying a computer screen or movie or virtually any video source. Sharpness is still a useful setting. This URL. Edit: the op has indicated in comments that this does not answer the question. Op: where in the problem is there room for any adjustment? Like if I tell you x equals 1 and y equals 2, and then say, oh, and I want x, y equals 3. That makes no sense. The process of converting a live image/video to electrical analog/digital signals, transmitting over some medium and recreating that image on a display device is never a one-to-one process. Signal noise, compression loss, manufacturing and equipment variations, cabling/signal type, and other factors come into play. All the adjustments on a monitor are designed to work together to give the end user the highest quality viewing experience according to the end user. The interpretation is entirely subjective. Op: this answer does not answer the question of why have the viewer adjust the sharpness when this is already defined by the content creator, be it Spielberg or Excel. If we are to follow this logic, then why do monitors need or have any adjustments at all? The answer is that what we see on the screen is not a 100% accurate representation of the original data.
You are correct that for a perfect reproduction on the input, the monitor should simply present each pixel as it is delivered. However, your eyes and your brain don't see pixels as separate entities, they see a picture formed from pixels. Depending on what it represents, a picture looks better, more attractive, if parameters are intentionally falsified. Sharpness typically increases the contrast at color change edges. For example, a letter in this text is represented by rows of pixels. One line might look simplified, 222277772222, where 2 is light gray and 7 is dark gray. Increasing the sharpness increases the brightness fall off at the edge, so the last 2 before the first 7 becomes even lighter, equals 1, and the first 7 after the last 2 becomes even darker, equals 8. Repeat for the other edge, and you get 222187812222. This will look a lot sharper to your eyes. This is done in both dimensions and a bit more sophisticated, but that should explain you the base idea. Edit: I thought I made that clear in my answer, but the op claims he didn't understand it. Op question: what sense does it make? Answer: it appears sharper to your brain. Many people want that. If you don't care for it, don't use it.
You're absolutely right that setting sharpness on your monitor somewhat distorts the image from the pixel-accurate data is sent by the computer, or whatever is attached to the other end of the video cable. However, it allows the user to improve their visual experience if the sharpness of the pixel-accurate data being sent does not correspond to their desired sharpness in the image they are viewing. So the monitor is in effect not doing this. Receive bitmap from cable. Render bitmap. Go to 1. But this. Receive bitmap from cable. Modify bitmap based on user's preferences. Render bitmap. Go to 1. So the degree of freedom for adjusting sharpness is explicitly added in by the monitor manufacturer, for the purpose of improving user experience.
Per this URL, sharpness on an LCD is part of the post-processing. Even leaving out rescaling/upsampling, e.g. if you try to display an SD signal on an HD monitor, and the complexities of color calibration, the monitor does not always display the image as given. This is an unfortunate side effect of marketing. Monitor manufacturers like to distinguish their product from other products. From their point of view, if you feed the same signal to their monitor and a cheaper competitor, and it looks identical, this is bad. They want you to prefer their monitor. So there's a bunch of tricks. Usually out of the box the brightness and contrast are wound right up beyond what is sensible. The sharpness is another trick. How do you make your picture look sharper than a competitor that is displaying the picture exactly as sent? Cheat. The sharpness filter is effectively that used in Photoshop and similar programs. It enhances the edges so they catch the eye.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.